Welcome to the EPL and UCL talks.
We're diving deep into what I think might be the most significant strategic moment of this Premier League season so far.
Oh, absolutely. Liverpool get a vital 2-0 win against West Ham, which, stops that concerning three-match league losing streak.
But the headline isn't really the 3 points, is it? It's the decision that led to them. The manager benched Mo Salah, their talisman.
It really was a tactical earthquake. And I think our mission today is to unpack that. Was this just, simple rotation, giving him a break?
Or is it something more? Are we actually seeing the foundations of a real fundamental shift at Anfield, moving away from one star player toward a more collective team structure?
It felt defining. And when you look at the raw facts of it, the shock really hits you.
It does. I mean, this was the first time Mo Salah had been left out of a Premier League starting 11 since way back in April 2024.
And even more than that, he was an unused substitute. He sat on the bench for the whole game.
For the first time since June 2020, that's 4 full seasons. It's a massive, massive statement from the manager. This was not just a minor rotation.
No way. And what's crucial is how the manager then handled the immediate psychological impact of that.
He was very clever. He came out and confirmed Salah was understandably not happy.
Right.
But he immediately framed that emotion, calling it a normal reaction for someone who has been so outstanding for this club for so many years. It was perfect diplomacy.
Absolutely. He was so careful to separate the tactical decision from the player's character, which you have to do to keep the dressing room on side.
He did. He went out of his way to praise Salah's professionalism. He said he handled himself really well, that he was very supportive for his teammates.
And that he's so disciplined. That's the highest praise, isn't it?
Yeah.
That even when the spotlight moves, you still put the team first.
It is. So let's get into the rationale. The manager basically gave 2 key reasons for it.
Okay, one was immediate and tactical. The other was more about the schedule, right?
Exactly. The immediate one was all about West Ham's specific setup. They use a high fullback and an inside winger.
A system that can kind of nullify a player like Salah who wants to isolate that fullback and cut inside.
Precisely. If he's also being asked to track back against that high fullback, his main threat is blunted. So the manager wanted a different profile to exploit that space.
And what did that different profile give them?
Well, putting players like Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak in there did 2 things. First, Wirtz gave them a proper hub in the middle for combination play, always moving, drawing defenders.
Yeah, so more central.
Right. And second, it just helped the defensive structure. The whole team was more compact because the threat wasn't about wide isolation anymore. It was about quick, sharp passing in those half spaces.
That makes a lot of sense. And the second reason was just the brutal reality of the calendar.
Yep. 4 games in 10 days. The manager said he only had about 14 or 15 outfield players he could really rely on because of injuries. It wasn't just resting Salah, it was about protecting the whole group.
And the outcome, well, it was the ultimate proof of concept for the new structure, wasn't it?
It was. That 2-0 win stopped the rot. It was described as the perfect medicine for a team that was, in a bit of a crisis.
What's so interesting to me is how they won. It wasn't flashy.
Not at all. It was called workmanlike, even a boring win. But for Liverpool right now, after some of the goals they've conceded, boring is the best compliment they could get.
Because it was built on defensive solidity.
Incredibly compact and solid. They gave up hardly a chance and got that clean sheet. That was the main objective.
A big part of that stability, it seems, was bringing Joe Gomez back to the right-back position. How can one player change the whole defensive structure like that?
It's about balance. When you have a player as attacking as Salah on the right back can get caught in between. Gomez is a natural, disciplined defender.
So everyone is just more comfortable in their roles.
Exactly. The manager said players were playing in a position where they should be playing. That sounds simple, but it's the foundation of everything. It just stabilizes the entire back line.
And crucially, the attack delivered without the main man. The goal-scoring burden was shared.
It had to be. The new setup needed to prove it could score, not just defend, and it did.
Alexander Isak, the big summer signing, he got his first Premier League goal.
Which is just monumental for him. Lifts so much pressure, a really lovely finish after a good team move.
And then there's Florian Wirtz. This is where you can really see the change in dynamics.
Absolutely. Some called it his best performance in a Liverpool shirt. But it wasn't just about flair. You have to look at the underlying numbers.
What do they show?
One analysis showed he completed 42 out of 45 passes, an incredible success rate.
Wow. That's the Rosetta Stone for this new identity, isn't it?
It is. When you rely on Salah, the attack is vertical. It's direct. Get him the ball, let him shoot. Wirtz's efficiency shows a focus on control, on building the attack together.
Which brings us to the big tension here. For what, 6 or 7 years, Liverpool's entire attack was built to feed Mo Salah.
And it worked brilliantly. But it also made them a little predictable.
And now there's this unavoidable debate. Some are saying this new controlled style probably doesn't suit Salah.
Right. That he needs that freedom and space to isolate players, and this new system demands more link-up play, more pressing, and that leads to the really tough suggestion
That the team might actually be better without him.
it's a provocative idea, and it rests purely on collective geometry. When Salah plays, the attack's center of gravity is on the right flank.
Which can restrict other players.
It can. Without him, the team is forced to share the load. They become less predictable. The West Ham game suggests that this shared burden also leads to better defensive solidity.
But calling them better without a player of his caliber, that feels incredibly short-sighted.
I think it is. The ambition can't just be to find a plan B that works okay in his absence.
The real goal has to be integrating him into this new, superior structure.
Exactly. His experience, his resilience, his goal threat, you still need that to win the biggest games, especially in the Champions League. You're trying to forge a world-class offensive line where he's a vital component, not the whole engine.
And this whole experiment, this tactical test, it has a very hard deadline coming up.
It does. The Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON. This isn't just a philosophical debate, it's a practical necessity.
Right. He's expected to leave for Egypt around December 15th. So the manager is forced to find a way to cope without Mo for a while anyway.
So this benching, this win, it's really an essential test run. It gives the manager leverage. He can say, look, we have to do this anyway. This is just preparation for when you're away.
It normalizes the idea of Salah not starting every single game.
Which brings us to the immediate future, because the games are coming thick and fast. Sunderland up next.
And the manager has already flagged the rotation problem, hasn't he?
He's been very open about it. He confirmed that 3 of the heroes from the West Ham, Wirtz, Isak, and Gomez are not physically able to play 3 90-minute games in a week.
So the very players who made the new system work need a rest.
That's the issue. Isak had cramping. Wirtz is only just back to full fitness after a long layoff. You have to manage them carefully.
So Salah's return to the lineup for the next game is almost certain.
It's inevitable. The rotation carousel forces his hand. It's a brilliant irony, really.
How so?
Well, one game, Salah is rested for tactical reasons to test the new collective. The very next game, he has to come back in because the collective needs to be rested.
It just shows that short-term availability often trumps long-term strategy in this league.
It does, but the long-term compromise still has to happen. Salah has to accept a redefined role, or at least reduced minutes.
The idea of being the main man every single week just isn't sustainable anymore.
It's not, and that's the final stage of maturity for an aging superstar, isn't it? Accepting that the club's results have to come before individual sentiment.
So, to sum this all up, Liverpool are in the middle of this really complex balancing act. They found defensive stability and collective strength against West Ham.
But they still need to figure out how to maximize the contributions of a historic world-class talent if they actually want to win trophies.
They found a balance by sharing the load.
They did. So here's a final thought for you to take away. As Salah inevitably returns to the team, does the club actually need him to score his historic 30 goals a season to be successful? Or is his greatest contribution now simply accepting this new role? Being one world-class part in a bigger machine, ready to step up and deliver those decisive moments when the collective needs him most.
Well, that was certainly a rewarding deep dive into the evolving dynamics, tactical necessities, and the high-stakes personnel decisions at the top of the Premier League. Until the next time we get to unpack a stack of fascinating new information for you, please take great care, stay curious about the shifting tactics you see on the field, and we hope you have a truly wonderful, insightful day.